Zechariah 14, the last chapter before Malachi. I read from the Institute for Scripture Research, the ISR, because it takes a direct translation from Hebrew to English, Greek to English, and Aramaic to English. Yah is short for Yahweh, Yahweh, Yod He Vav He. There's no difference. It's like saying Dan, Daniel, and Daniel with an E. It's the same name, it's just spelled a little different, maybe pronounced a little bit different. Same name. Yah is the Elohim of the heavens and the earth, the first and the last and the only, and the letter J is about 600 years old, while the son of Elohim, Yehoshua, died on a stake for the sins of all of humanity more than 2,000 years ago. And Yah is an extremely jealous El. He doesn't even want the names of idols or mighty ones to come to our lips. And a direct translation from Hebrew to English, Yehoshua is Joshua. Zechariah 14. See, a day shall come for Yahweh, and your spoil shall be divided in your midst, and I shall gather all the nations to battle against Jerusalem. And the city shall be taken, the houses plundered, the women ravished. I want to say that that's rape. And the women ravished. They knew her all night long. I'm pretty sure this is rape. I could be mistaken, but don't take my word for it. But I'm jumping on the bandwagon that I think, not that I know, that I think that women, or that it says, and the women ravished. That's the women being raped. Again, don't quote me. Half of the city shall go into exile, but the remnant of the people shall not be cut off from the city. And Yahweh shall go forth, and he shall fight against those nations, as he fights in the day of battle. And in that day his feet shall stand upon the Mount of Olives, which faces Jerusalem on the east, and the Mount of Olives shall be split in two from east to west, a very great valley. And half of the mountain shall move toward the north, and half of it toward the south, and you shall flee to the valley of my mountain. For the valley of the mountains reached to Atzel, Atsal, and you shall flee as you fled from the earthquake in the days of Uzziah, Uzziah, sovereign of Yehuda. And Yahweh my Elohim shall come, all the set apart ones with you. And in that day it shall be, there is no light, it is dark. There is no light, it is dark. And it shall be one day which is known to Yahweh, neither day nor night, but at evening time there shall be light. And in that day it shall be that living waters flow from Jerusalem, half of them toward the eastern sea, and half of them toward the western sea, in summer as well as in winter. Yeah, I know, I've never looked it up, but I'm pretty sure the people way down south don't get snow. But then again, I've heard about Mexico getting snow, so I mean, I guess it's possible. I thought I was being lied to when Mexico got snow. I was like, no, that's a desert plain. I doubt it, but Yahweh can do anything. Man cannot. Man can only mimic. Where am I at? Okay, and Yah shall be sovereign over all the earth. In that day there shall be one Yahweh, and his name one. There shall be one Yahweh, and his name one. Only one name, Yahweh. All the land shall be changed into a desert plain from Geba, Geb, with a line underneath of it, A, to Rimmon, south of Jerusalem, and she shall be raised up and inhabited in her place from Benjamin's gate. Gate is a capital G, but Benjamin is Binyamin. Benjamin's gate to the place of the first gate, capital F and capital G, first gate, and the corner gate, capital C, capital G. And from the tower, capital T, to Hananel. H with a dot, A-N-A-N-E, I'm just going to restart that word. H with a dot, A-N-A-N apostrophe, E with a half a check mark, L, to the wine presses of the sovereign. And they shall dwell in her, and there shall be no more utter destruction, but Jerusalem shall be safely inhabited, And this is the plague with which Yahweh plagues all the people who fought against Jerusalem. Their flesh shall decay while they stand on their feet, and their eyes decay in their sockets, and their tongues decay in their mouths. And it shall be in that day that a great confusion from Yahweh is among them, and every one of them shall seize the hand of his neighbor, and his hand rise up against his neighbor's hand, and Yehuda shall fight at Jerusalem as well. And the wealth of all the nations round about shall be gathered together, gold and silver and garments in great quantities. So also is the plague on the horse and the mule, on the camel and the donkey, and on all the cattle that are in those camps as this plague. And it shall be that all who are left from all the nations which came up against Jerusalem shall go up from year to year to bow themselves to sovereign Yahweh of hosts, and to celebrate the festival of Sukkoth, Sukkoth. And it shall be that if everyone of the clans of the earth does not come up to Jerusalem to bow himself to the sovereign Yahweh of hosts, on them there is to be no rain. And if the clan of Mitzrayim does not come up and enter in, then there is no rain. On them is the plague with which Yahweh plagues the nations who do not come up to celebrate the festival of Sukkoth, or not Sukkoth, sorry, Sukkot, Sukkot. I mispronounced it earlier. This is the punishment of Mitzrayim, and the punishment of all the nations that do not come up to celebrate the festival of Sukkot. In that day, set apart to Yahweh shall be engraved on the bells of the horses. It's all capital letters, set apart to Yahweh. And the pots in the house of Yahweh shall be like the bowls before the slaughter place. And every pot in Jerusalem and Yehuda shall be set apart to Yahweh of hosts, and all those who slaughter shall come and take them and cook in them, and there shall no longer be a merchant in the house of Yahweh of hosts in that day. Again, that is end times revelations. Not exactly end times revelations, more like after times revelations. That was so beautiful. Next book is Malachi, but it's only got 4 books in it, or 4 chapters in it, and then there's Psalms. Psalms has 150.